Coming at you full-fledged, it's your boy Rage Man Reg with another video for y'all, man. Welcome, YouTube. Now, I think it's safe to say that Shaquille O'Neal is one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. I have him ranked 8th as the greatest player of all time and 4th on the all-time centers list as the most physically dominant player in modern basketball. Now, whether you want to decide if the start of modern hoops was with the NBA-ABA merger, the NBA's implementation of the three-point line in 1979, or the drafting of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, that's up to you. But I can't objectively say Shaq is the most physically dominant player ever, which goes into the topic of this video. Shaq got this odd enthusiasm when it came to his opponents, mainly at his position, as well as his successors. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I don't see his side. The Diesel was the last scoring champion to win a title. With over 28,000 career points, he led the league in field goal percentage 10 times. And in terms of a single player impact on a team's championship chances, O'Neal is the most dominant since Michael Jordan. But it's his approach that throws me all the way off. It comes from a place of insecurity, as if he's on top of a mountain swinging down. He even brags to this day, and rightfully so to an extent, that he invoked fear in his fellow opponents, his fellow players. He clearly still gets satisfaction off that domineering bully persona. From opponents like Jared Dudley and Michael Olowokandi to different descendants like JaVale McGee and more recently Rudy Gobert, the picking on people who you know not gonna match that energy that you still emit is not respectable at all. That's not a respectable trait. Those are not respectable actions, bruh. I'm not with that. Like, we've, not me, but others, beat the horse of Rudy Gobert's flaws on the court so much to death, we letting old fuddy-duddy, man-child ass niggas like Shaq use it as an excuse to make himself feel more important than he is in this league, in which he's not an active player. Talking about what you would do to Rudy if you was his teammate, that's a grown man with a child. That is wild to me. And you cloaking it, you're cloaking your desire to exert your will on grown men behind basketball. Which takes me back to more evidence of this. I ain't gonna get into his suspicious interest in scatological humor, but rather a very odd dynamic between him and Dwight Howard. I'm not buying that Yaz beef, quote unquote beef, because it was really one-sided. for the most part, was over the fact that he was at a time potentially surpassing your career at center with the Orlando Magic. It got so vitriolic at a point. People was asking, I've seen people ask themselves this on their own platforms, on their own channels. Is this a lover's quarrel or something? Like, what exactly is going on? Like, why is this retired player so personally attached to these specific modern players? I know we praised the Diesel earlier, but he's never led the league in blocks or rebounds. He's never won a Defensive Player of the Year for as dominating, quote unquote, as he was. It don't show up in the stats. Not the defensive stats, not the stats that a center would, for the most part, pride himself on outside of getting points. You know the ironic thing about that? Both Gobert and Howard have accomplished those feats several times. So with that being said, I personally believe it's a mixture of jealousy, because Shaq left a lot on the table to be as great as he was. Only 28,000 points, and I think he played 19 years. Leaving something on the table for whatever reason, your conditioning or whatever. That's up to you to decide. And some more of the seedier reasons behind his resentment of modern bigs. I believe it's a mixture of both. I believe that it's just Shaq's personality and some more dark stuff that you possibly... I mean, I know you've heard about it. We've heard the knuckleheads talk about that one story when he put some straight poop in a rookie's shoe. Real human shit. He did that. Like, shout out to Two Raffle Sports for this. He did a video on this a while back. If I was David Stern, I'm suspending him for the season doing some shit like that. That's disgusting. That's humiliating. That's depraved. That's some weird shit. That's some Diddy shit for real. For real. Like, that's weird. You're getting suspended for the entire season. I'm taking the Lakers season. You can call that shit. You can watch that. But you know that's not going to happen. Because he's the face of the league. And he can do that. But not to Kobe Bryant, because Kobe Bryant is a fellow Monarch athlete. But he went into that himself. He tells these stories. He's not saying what I'm saying, but this is common knowledge. I just wanted to share that with the recent video that I just saw on Instagram, man. Like, Shaq, get off that, bro. Like, Shaq was one of my favorite players growing up. I had Shaqs in kindergarten. The Shaqs that lit up his actual shoes. Like, I like Shaq, bro. Like, Shaq, but him as a person, like, he got flaws. Like we all do. We not perfect, but come on, bro. Like, Rudy Gobert been in the league. He's a veteran. He is a Hall of Fame player, bro. Whether y'all like it or not, and you just disrespected him, trying to one-up yourself. We already know you a top 10 player, bro. Like, that's not necessary. But let me know what y'all think. But before y'all do that, hit that like button, comment at the beginning, middle, and ending of this video. Share for us to see. Subscribe if you're new. And hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop.